Hey, what is up guys? My name is Emiliano. I'm making this video for all my gym beginners that have never touched the weight in their life, have never done any kind of resistance training, and what I would do if I was starting from zero. This is not the workout that I do now, and this is not the only thing that I did to get to the size and the strength that I have now. This is just a quick workout for complete beginners and those people that are maybe in a time crunch. I've also made some other similar videos like this. This is kind of like the extension to those videos. And also you want to keep in mind that recovery, nutrition also play a big role, and also have a few videos that you guys can check out after this if you guys want to take this to the next level. But yeah, let's get into it. So first of all guys, right, you want to start off obviously always with some kind of warm-up depending on what you're doing. This specifically is an upper body workout. So I always like to, of course, stretch out my shoulders, even my legs a little bit. I had just hit legs the day before this, which is why I'm stretching in this video. I'm not doing a full workout. I'm just kind of doing this as a demonstration here. But it doesn't mean that I'm not going all in on my exercises, as you can see. Now for this workout, guys, it's a complete calisthenics beginner workout. So we're just going to be focusing on these 4 movements, which is going to be our pull-ups, dips, pike push-ups, and our inverted rows. So 2 pulling movements and 2 pushing movements, all for upper body. Starting off with our main exercise of the day, right? Even if you're a complete beginner, of course, I don't expect you to be able to do the same amount of reps or the same form when it comes to the pull-ups that I'm doing here. But I want you to just focus on not doing anything quick, not doing anything, at 100% force, more focusing on being controlled, being slow, and really feeling the movement, because this is a workout not just to build strength, but to build the foundation for a good physique, right guys? And if you're doing everything randomly, you're not really feeling the muscle, you can't really expect the muscle to grow, right? You gotta actually focus on the muscle, you gotta slow things down. That's a big beginner mistake, so don't do that. As you can see here, right, on some of my sets, I only do 3 sets per exercise, because once again, this is a beginner workout, and this is really gonna just get the momentum going. We're not focused on destroying your body or anything like that, just getting the rhythm down, feeling the muscle, getting used to the exercise. But yeah, so on the pull-ups, just imagine that you're kind of pinching your shoulder blades together, and you want to really keep your arms as close to your body as possible. Keep that chest up, and that's what's really going to help feel specifically the lats, which is the main muscle that you want to work when it comes to the pull-ups. Moving on to our dips. In this case, I'm doing a very, very hard variation of dips, which is with the gymnastics rings. Right, this requires a lot of stability as well as strength and mobility. Right, so I don't recommend you guys do this if you're a complete beginner. I'm just doing this because I'm, of course, a lot more advanced, right? And this is what is helping me push myself a little bit more to the limit. So if you're a beginner, start with another kind of horizontal push. Well, I guess the dip is not exactly a horizontal push, but it is working the same muscles, which is more specifically the chest and the deltoids, as well as the triceps. But if you can't do that, if you're a complete beginner, just start with regular push-ups, as you can see me doing here. If you have parallettes, do that, focus on the stretch. Always, doesn't matter what exercise, if you pay close attention, always focus on going very, very slow on the eccentric while going fast on the concentric. Concentric is when the muscle is shortening. For example, in the push-up, it is on the way up because your chest is contracting, and it is lengthening. The eccentric portion of the rep is when you're going down, whenever your chest is being stretched. And then when it comes to a pull-up, obviously when you go down is when your back is being stretched. But yeah, so those are going to be our 2 main exercises that we want to start with. Like I said, 3 sets of every exercise, so it's just going to be 12 sets in total for this workout, right? Very, very beginner level. We're not focusing on anything specific. Why? Because I'm very, very big on being minimalistic. The more minimalistic, the easier it is, the better, right? You're better off doing less movements with higher intensity and actually focusing on the muscle. You're going to have much better growth than by focusing on doing a bunch of volume, a bunch of exercises just because it feels cool. But yeah, after that, we're going to do some kind of vertical push, which in this case I always recommend doing some kind of pike push-up. I once again am doing them with the parallettes. I get a much better stretch, much better range of motion. But if you don't, of course I don't expect all of you guys to have it, so just do it with on the floor. Some kind of elevated surface is always better, right? Because once again, it helps you to not hit your head on the floor, and it increases your range of motion. The more range of motion, the more that muscle is going to be stretched and contracted. So always keep that in mind. So if you don't have parallettes, just just grab something that's going to have your hands, that's going to give you a little bit bigger of a range of motion, is what I'm saying. But yeah, so once again, do the same thing, 3 sets. And when it comes to the reps, guys, don't really focus on that, because this is a beginner exercise. And of course, when it comes to hypertrophy, you always want to apply progressive overload. And of course, I always take account of how many reps I'm doing when it comes to the gym, when it comes to calisthenics, but that's because I'm a lot more advanced. But when it comes to beginners, right, just focus on really feeling that muscle, getting the momentum. After a month of actually doing things right, you're actually used to it, then you want to start taking a little bit more into account the amount of reps that you're doing, because of course you want to be getting stronger. You don't want to continue doing the same amount of reps, the same amount of sets for a muscle, because then it's not going to grow. You need a greater stimulus for it to grow. And finally, our inverted rows. This is really going to also hit the mid and lower back, depending on where your hand placement is. As you can see here, for beginners, you want to start off doing something like this, where your hands are, or where your body is not so parallel to the floor, right? You're a little bit more upright. This is going to be a lot easier. If you want to make it harder, the lower that you go, the harder that it is, and the more that you're going to feel it in your upper back, because your hands are a little bit more in that frontal plane where your upper back is being contracted rather than your lower back. But yeah, don't overcomplicate this, guys. Just do it consistently. Do it 3 times per week, and as long as you follow the steps, you are genuinely consistent, and you actually focus on feeling the muscle, you're not just doing jack crap, you will see progress. And once you start getting a hang of this, you can actually start implementing a little bit more different various exercises and focus a little bit more on progressive overload. But yeah, as you can see, once you're a little bit more advanced, even with just a small workout like this, because I'm so used to working each muscle, I actually know how to have that mind muscle connection. I know how to contract and lengthen the muscle properly. I was able to get a huge pump, or not a huge pump, but a small pump, even though I didn't do a full workout. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Check out my other videos. And by the way, I am looking for 5 men who want to take their gym seriously, who actually want to build a good physique. Just comment something in the description below, and I'll reach out. I'm willing to train you for 30 days for free, one-on-one coaching. So yeah, see you guys there. Bye bye.